Sora just dropped today. The lighting there, amazing. The texture on the animals looks really good, but is it going to be worth it? Hello and welcome back to the channel. So as usual, the world of AI video never sleeps, and we've seen so many updates over the last few weeks. Not only have we seen brand new open source and closed source platforms, but even the major platforms have had huge updates. I won't be giving a full showcase, but we'll do our best to take a look at each new platform and feature. So you've probably heard that Sora leaked back in late November. Okay, so I guess I'm glad that I wasn't done editing this video yet because Sora just dropped today. I had a feeling this would happen. In any case, in this portion of the video, I was talking about the leak and how the results are just kind of okay, but at the same time to keep in mind that this was the turbo version that leaked. Then I had found another leak from some sort of presentation where we saw some more generations here, but there was an interesting point made. Why don't we go ahead and take a listen to that?
One of the reasons I chose this was because one of the classic cases where you see AI fall apart is when you have high density pixel patterns. So if you notice her face and her skin, it's clearly a lot of mud and blood on it. But if you look at the detail here in Sora, go full screen, you can see that not only does Sora actually give that mud, keep the pixel patterns without going off the interlaced layers, but it actually gave it 3D depth. And if you look at her nose, like the tip of her nose, you actually see the blood like coagulating or hardening there. And that's just Sora basically saying, well, we know what the world, how it kind of operates. How do we take this image and give it more detail?
Okay, so that does look really powerful. Let's check out some more. All right, I'm here on the OpenAI website. So of course the homepage here has a bunch of generations to check out. Okay, at a glance, the quality looks insane. It looks like Kling level resolution with Minimax's power. We were waiting for this for a long time and it looks like they're not disappointing, but is it gonna be worth it? So first of all, we have this remix option that almost like allows in painting. And I've seen some reviews and you can put in multiple prompts for different parts of the video generation. Extend before, extend after. There's a storyboard feature. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about with like the different prompts for different parts of the video. Generations go up to 20 seconds now. So the features are even more powerful than any of the other existing platforms. The quality looks like it's as good as it can get compared to like Kling or something. This is pretty interesting, cardboard and paper craft. But is it gonna be worth it? Okay, so for 20, you don't get much, 50 priority videos, etc. But, keep in mind that you're paying 20 for OpenAI, ChatGPT, everything else. It's not just the video platform. To really maximize this, you're gonna have to pay 200, which is double the amount of any of the others. You get the 1080 with the 20 seconds, no watermark. Now that is steep to have no watermark. However, I'm seeing a lot of talk out there and that it's pretty censored. People are having trouble uploading images of people or characters or even animated characters sometimes, or you have to pay the 200 to even use people at all. I don't know, this feels a little greedy, but also what we would expect from OpenAI. All right, so here's the first ever Sora video posted to r/AI video. So like I said earlier, you usually need Kling to get this level of realism and detail and resolution. Gotta admit, that looks insanely good. The lighting there, amazing. The texture on the animals looks really good. Wow. This person really threw together quite the edit in just a few hours. Okay, so here's another one I saw. This looks really good. The brightness and the vividness of the colors are really impressive. Yeah, so the quality is obviously really good. It's just a matter of, is it worth 200? Maybe if you're using ChatGPT a lot, then it's just a nice bonus to have Sora. But it sure would be nice to have it unlimited at 200. I'm gonna pass for now. and keep using Kling, Minimax, and Sellerpic. Next up, the most powerful generator, Minimax, just got even more powerful. They're dropping hammers over here. We have new features, we have new audio features, we have a new video model that looks great with like illustrated art. Let's take a look at this. So, as it says here, designed to revolutionize how 2D illustrations come to life. Now, I've been really wanting to do some animations of these illustrations that were from an Edgar Allan Poe collection back in the 20s, I think. The illustrator was named Harry Clark, and this was the perfect opportunity to test it out because all other image generators seem to struggle with this illustration style. Unfortunately, Minimax wasn't that much better with the new feature. So yeah, the mummy's dancing around a bit, looks pretty cool, but there's no other motion. There's some motion in the clock and not much in the crowd back there. Okay, and then tried another one here, and this one's more disappointing. You see the guy down there is definitely moving his face, but the woman there not doing anything, and I said something about like she's gathering energy to cast a spell or something. So I would like to test this feature more. I can see that it's very powerful with the right inputs. This illustration style just wasn't the best. And that's not all. Minimax added some audio features like speech synthesis, and you can even clone voices on here. So it just makes things a little easier when you can do more all in one place, right? Now in this update on Discord, they mention a self-serve API portal, and they mention AI music generation. As you can see on the site, I'm not seeing anything about music just yet, but maybe it's coming soon. All right, next up, Kling has added a character feature. You can train to have consistent character results in video generation, which is a pretty big deal. I haven't messed with it myself yet, but also they have restructured trial packages for new users. So instead of logging in for daily credits, you're gonna get a certain amount monthly, and it lets you use the advanced features. So that's a nice change because it's really nice to be able to test those features without paying so that you know if you want to pay for it or not. Kling is actually still my personal favorite video generator. If you take a look at the shorts content on my page, you'll see just crazy hyper-realistic quality. I love the way it holds on to that quality all the way throughout the generation. You could say that Minimax is still the most powerful, but for what I do with the surrealist stuff, I really love Kling. So as an example, here's one of the horrifying turkeys I made, and just look at the way it carries that detail all the way through. It's amazing, like somehow it looks more real than a Hollywood movie, and I think it's because a lot of these platforms are trained on like classic horror films that used actual props. It has that real prop view, but with like modern CGI. Yeah, AI horror is crazy. Okay, so you can see, here's where you can train a custom model. I do have my subscription paused at the moment to catch up on editing, so I can't demo this, but if you run a search, you'll find some demonstrations of it out there. It does look pretty good. All right, next up, Runway introduced basically an outpainting for video feature, expand video. Now, I'm actually really excited about this. Now, I haven't really been using Runway lately because the quality hasn't quite caught up with Kling and Minimax just yet. But of course, Runway offers a lot of very powerful features, and I really am excited about this one. Let's try it out right now. So I have some vertical video content I made because I do like posting shorts content on social media, but it would be really nice if I could just translate it to landscape if I ever wanted to use it for a music video or something. So here's one that I really like. Let's see if we can turn this into a landscape video. All right, it's cooking, it's cooking. Let's see what we got. All right, so this might take a few attempts because the first thing I'm seeing is that Runway added their own character and it's just not gonna be on the same level as Flux. There's just no way. Let's take a look at the video. Okay, well, she's not moving that much, so that's nice. Everything else works just fine. You know, the sides don't need to be that detailed. I would probably just try again until it didn't add a person, because I want the consistency that Flux gave me instead. But look at that, very cool. So this will save me a ton of time. Instead of having to generate entirely new images and video of the same theme, now I can use the ones I love and turn them into landscape. Very cool. Okay, next up we have Sellerpic, which we talked about in a previous video. And Sellerpic is an incredible image to video generator that's especially good with models. And then they also have great options for featuring products. But let's head over to the Discord and check out what's new with Sellerpic. Okay, so on November 18th, we've improved the video model to reduce facial blurriness and address incorrect prompt interpretations for better accuracy. Okay, on November 27th, a restored image to video feature for free users. And then finally on December 5th, stable style for image to video. So even more stable, maintaining subject integrity. So in my last video, we talked about how the Sellerpic output is very close to Minimax, and some people think that maybe they're using the Minimax API. And then when I showed this example, I thought that it definitely was the Minimax API. I just wanted to say that I'm not so sure about that. And on the Discord, Ivan said that it is not Minimax's API and that they have trained their own model, and he insists that it's better. So Sellerpic, very slept on. No one's talking about this. So check it out, especially if you're interested in doing influencer or model type content. Even Luma added new features. So they've added a new image generator as well. I haven't tried it yet, but we can actually use this on Replicate too if you want to pay as you go instead of subscribing and worrying about credits. Okay, and there's been some quality of life updates to the interface, which was much needed. This is the old interface, and it's so laggy. I'm scrolling and it's taking like a good 2 seconds to even respond to my scrolling. All right, let's check out the all new Dream Machine. So first of all, I can go here and see all of my creations. Oh man. Oh, that's such a relief. And yeah, and it actually responds to my scrolling, so I can find everything so much easier. Okay, and Luma also introduced something called boards, so you can organize your ideas like in a storyboard. So that's cool. More tools coming. It's good to see them still developing. In the end, once again, for me, it's all about the quality of the video generations, and I'm going to continue to use Kling and Minimax until something is better. Speaking of which, that brings us to the next one, vivago.ai, a brand new video generator. So we can see some examples here. And the face was pretty impressive. It's a little wonky still, right? This looks like kind of Luma Runway level quality. Not bad. I guess we can keep an eye on this platform to see how much better it gets over time. Once again, still not quite as good as my top picks. Okay, moving along, another closed source platform, pollo.ai. Same deal, kind of looks like Luma quality or so. They do have image to video, which for me is essential. So maybe another one to keep our eye on to see how much they develop and see how much better the quality gets over time. Yet another, we have haiper.ai, who also offers image to video and text to video, and the results look pretty good. And like I mentioned before, this is also available to use on Replicate, which brings us to the final segment of the video. So Replicate is one of these sites that has all of the best open source image generators, video generators, and a ton more. Just so many AI tools in one place. It's a little complex. If you've never used this, you have to make a GitHub account first to log in with the GitHub. Then you're ready to go. You can just click on anything and start running generations. And my favorite thing about this is that you could just pay as you go instead of worrying about credits and using your credits on time. So other alternatives might be like Civit AI or Fall AI. And those are great, but I just happen to be plugged into Replicate already with my payment info. I'm not sad about it because look, they're dropping all of the top video platforms. They even have Minimax now. Amazing. Now, there has been a ton of talk about the new Tencent Hunyuan video model, which, you know, this is a huge company, Tencent, and we can expect really good things from this video model. And it's open source, but you need a minimum of 60 gigabytes of VRAM, ideally 80, and pretty much nobody can run that on a consumer GPU. You have to have like one of these GPUs that I don't even know how much they cost. Okay, and like I said earlier, since I shot this video, Kajai has released a low VRAM wrapper for this platform to run locally. I'm excited to try it out, but I haven't had the time just yet. And there is hope to run it on some of the lower GPU models. It's just gonna take longer, obviously, but really cool that it's an option. But we can try this platform here on Replicate. And just using their example, this cat looks incredible. Look at all the detail in the fur, the shine, the lighting, the blades of grass. I know grass is something that's often used to test these AI models because it's so hard to create, I guess. A moment ago, we mentioned Luma, and we can try the new image generator right here, plus a faster version of it. All right, we mentioned Hyper, and we can go ahead and use that here as well. Okay, there's been some talk about open source platform LTX that I'm pretty sure you can run this on a consumer GPU, and its main claim to fame is that it generates faster than you could even watch the video. All right, in a previous video, we talked about Genmo Mochi, and we can even use Mochi here on Replicate. The leaderboard still has this as number 2, but for me, without an image prompt option, I just don't really care to use it because let's say you generate 100 images and pick the best 5. Now you've already done so much work of narrowing down what you want to get as your source image. Then you can go to a video generator to get your results from there. Without that image input, you're just gambling every time, and the video generations are way more expensive. So I will be keeping my eye on Genmo Mochi. I'm sure they'll introduce an image prompt at some point. Let's go through and do a lightning round comparison. One attempt on each video generator with the same prompt with all the default settings. Let's go ahead and start with Hunyuan. Okay, the prompt is, a scientist with biomechanical growth emerging from their skin is panicking in their lab. This is something I did in a previous project, which you'll see in my shorts content soon. All right, first up, here's the result from Hunyuan. And the quality actually looks really good. The drawback being that at the moment there's no image to video option. Definitely something to keep an eye on though. I think we're gonna see great things from Hunyuan in the future. All right, next up, here's the result from Hyper. And the quality is definitely not there. It's very cartoony, and I don't even know what's going on with these hands here. But this model does allow for image input, and I'm sure that could fix that problem quite well. If you do want to see me test this more, just ask in the comments. All right, next up, LTX. And remember here, the advantage is that you probably can run this locally if you have a decent GPU, and that the generation is very fast. Sure enough, out of these 5, this one finished immediately, and the others took several minutes. The results are okay, but once again, this is something you can run locally and just try over and over again. You're experimenting with something. Again, it kind of looks like maybe Luma quality. This one attempt maybe is not the most fair demonstration. It's very messy, there's a lot of warping, etc. All right, next up here is Mochi, and we already know we can expect great quality from Mochi. As far as text to video goes, it is rated number 2 right now, and this does look pretty good, but I feel like I would have to try a few more times because all we see is this kind of blob of red material taking over this person's face. Once again, I'm not going to really care about this platform until they introduce image to video, which I'm sure they will at some point. Finally, everyone's favorite Minimax, and I ran this on Replicates, and we have a woman scientist here with some horrifying, oh man, some biomechanical growth, just like I asked for, but there's some actual guts in there, like, Now, something I want you to keep in mind about using Minimax on here. First of all, it's just the video model. It does allow image input, but we saw earlier that Minimax has a ton of tools, including that new 2D model and all of the audio options that are here and more coming. Minimax has a great unlimited plan for $95. So if you're really serious about AI video and you want to be running this all the time, or you're taking gigs where you have to have that confidence that you can just sit down and run like hundreds of gens without worrying about your credits, I think the unlimited plan on Minimax's actual website is a better way to go. So the main reason you might want to run it on Replicate instead is if you like the pay-as-you-go price structure, you don't want to commit to a whole plan and worry about unsubscribing or maybe forgetting to use your credits that don't roll over, etc. Again, if you're doing enough generations, you're just going to want to pay for that unlimited on the Minimax site itself. All right, those are the updates for the time being. That's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching as always, and if you want to support me here, like the video, sub to the channel, all of that stuff helps me grow, and it's very much appreciated. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.